All right, hello everyone. Jason Barger here, and I'm sitting with my friend Jeannie Gagalski, and she is the Service Learning Coordinator for the Upper Arlington School District, and also is a terrific asset for the whole state of Ohio. And I am connected to the service learning stuff, one because I very much believe in service learning and have been fortunate to lead many different service learning projects locally and then also all around the world, and also have had the privilege of sharing my book, Step Back from the Baggage Claim, with different schools, and also speaking to help add value to service learning projects. And so we're sitting together today and just talking about service learning. And so Jeannie, I wanted to talk with you and see, in the big picture world of education, how is it that you see service learning playing a role in that kind of step back, an opportunity for us to step back and look at how does service learning kind of tie everything together in education?
Well, service learning by definition is a teaching or learning strategy that kind of combines community service with learning, what's going on in the classroom, so that students have a chance to actually practice the things they're learning. They're learning some content, and then they're learning skills, and then they get out in the community and get to practice those skills. So service learning is really the application of many of the things. It enriches the learning experience. It gives kids a chance to practice civic engagement and leadership, and it strengthens communities because there's benefit that comes out of the things that kids do out in their communities, in their states, in their world, and then around the world, all the different places like you have been.
Right. Well, I know we've talked before about the fact that how easy it is in the midst of our average day, even our curriculum or the day-to-day routines that maybe a student even goes through, and how is it in the midst of that instead of just checking off the tasks that we have to do, the homework or the assignments that we have to do, but how is it that we begin to connect to why it is that we're even doing this, and how do we take what it is that we're learning and then put it into motion into the world? And I know that one of the catchphrases right now is this 21st century skills, skills that talk to us about collaboration, leadership, global awareness, civic duty, all of that kind of stuff, creativity. How is it that you see that playing a vital part of education into the future?
You just asked about 14 questions, truly. When I think about teachers and what they face today, I mean, imagine yourself looking around a classroom, 25, 30 kids. Each of them come to school with different learning styles and learning abilities, and they come with different baggage, and they come with all kinds of stuff. They come to the classroom, and the teacher is supposed to always have that big picture view of where each of those students is going, and collectively where we're going. So it becomes critical that teachers be able to step back and always keep the vision, because they're the ones in charge. And in a classroom like that, where you've got a lot of kids looking to you and parents who are hoping that at the end of this process, their kids have a full ride to an Ivy League school and are able to wait their turn and be polite and stand in line and all the other character things, issues that are going on. Teachers have a lot on their plate.
Yeah.
So to be able to really focus, to be able to step back constantly, it's an ongoing process, and service learning and reflection, I think, are an important part of that. Taking a step back and thinking, where are we going? What's important here? Otherwise, you can just get overwhelmed by those things that the teachers face every single day. And in terms of 21st century skills, I think that in the big picture view of what we're doing, when we step back and really think, we are preparing kids for careers that we don't even know exist yet, for technology skills that maybe we don't have, for knowledge that increases content knowledge that increases exponentially. So how can you do all that without stepping back and really thinking about where you're going and what you're doing? With service learning, the chances to help kids really experience those things. Really not just talk about leadership,
Yep.
but actually do it.
Yep.
Not just talk about creativity or read about somebody else who was creative, but to be creative yourself about solutions to real problems. I mean, kids want to do these things. They want, if you want to engage them in a learning process, it's one thing to read about it or talk about it,
Right.
a whole different thing to actually experience it. And that's what rigor, relevancy, relationship, that's what it's all about. So service learning is a great vehicle, not only to help you keep the focus as a teacher, to help you step back from the package claim, but also to deliver 21st century skills and keep yourselves above the fray of...
Well, I know from my life personally that the service projects that I've been engaged in and fortunate to lead, those have been some of the most profound and influential learning experiences for me in my life. And my experience has been not only in the projects that I've led, but now going around to different schools and talking with students, and then not just students, but staff as well, teachers, that people right now really are thirsty for these kind of experiences. And that applying, how is it, not just what are we learning, but how does that apply to our lives outside? What kind of imprint do we want to make on the world? And how is it that we can take these 21st century skills that we may be learning, and how is it that we put them out in motion? That is what I feel people are wanting and needing right now, and why this service learning stuff is so important. Just briefly, are there a couple of projects that come to mind that you can think about that have been really successful?
There are so many. High school 9th grade had invited 2 lost boys of Sudan who had graduated from Ohio State to speak to the students because they were studying. Jock and Bull, that's right.
That's right.
And I happened to be there the day they came to speak, and the students were learning about Sudan, so this was a great experience for them. But it's very telling, you know, that you could have heard a pin drop. When you hear about 2 small boys walking 1,500 miles and with no food, no water, no protection. And our kids, of course, had a new view of what Civil War looked like. They understood much better corrupt governments, you know, the geography of Sudan, survival. And so when Jock and Bull at the end talk about what they're doing, naturally these experiences that they had led them to want to build a medical clinic. Our students said, how can we help? I mean, that was just like a natural thing for them. So then they began to use their skills, which included studying the country, learning about all the things that I mentioned, and writing letters to donors, holding bake sales and teas and runs and everything else they could think of to support these 2 young men in their quest to build a medical center. They even built 3D models of medical centers. So our students came away with this enriched learning experience, these global connections that never would have been made. Those kids understand Sudan in a way that I believe other students who read a chapter in a social studies textbook do not understand.
Well, thank you so much, Jeannie.
Sure,
it's great to be with you, and thank you for everything you do for service learning and for giving schools ideas about how to improve the service learning that they're doing. I hope you'll learn more about Step Back from the Baggage Claim by checking out stepbackfromthebaggageClaim.com. You can learn more about the book and this servant leadership movement. And thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you.